Hello everyone, it's Akshay again, and in this video we are going to talk about two different ways of inventory planning. One is item level, the other one is aggregate level inventory planning. We are also going to talk about what are some replenishment methods. So once you have sold all your inventory, what are the different ways in which you can order back the inventory? Let's begin our discussion to first understand what is the difference between the item level and the aggregate level of inventory planning. I think an example would be a better idea to understand the difference between these. So let's take an example of a Coke bottle. Let's say there's a 100 ml Coca-Cola bottle, right? I would call it as an item. Now this Coca-Cola also comes in 200 ml, 1 liter, 2 liter kind of variants, right? Those are also items. So those are what we call, or that level is what we call as the item level. Now imagine that I am the sales manager for a particular region and I'm not concerned about how much of each bottle I sold. I'm more concerned about how much of total Coca-Cola in liters I sold, or what's the total monetary value of the items that I've sold. So let's just say that I want to know how much I sold in East Asia, right? So that is what I call as the aggregate level. You could know it by city, you could also do it by country. The point is, the criteria for aggregation could be anything. It could be the location, as we discussed, that is the city or the country. It could be a sales channel, that is the online or offline or traditional sales. And it could be the product hierarchy itself, right? So instead of saying that I sold so many units of Coca-Cola, if there is a category called beverages, how much total revenue I generated from beverages, or how much total units I sold in the category of beverages, that would be aggregation according to product. So the criteria for aggregation could be anything. Now, item level inventory planning involves how much to order, when to order. Inventory control is essentially safety stock and safety lead time, and which are my fast selling items and which are the slow selling items, so that I can plan inventory better at a store level. So, if I am managing a store, I am more concerned about each and every item and how much to order and when to order. And that is all about the item level planning. On the other hand, when we talk about the aggregate level, it deals more with the financial impact of the inventory on the balance sheet, on the income statement, etc. It helps plan business better. It is involved in strategic level decisions to define cost objectives, etc. In short, you could say aggregate level planning is used at a strategic level, and item level planning is used at a tactical or operational level for that matter. One more thing to note is that the aggregate level forecasts are more accurate than the item level forecasts. Now, why does this happen? It's simply because the positive and negative errors from the items tend to cancel each other, and a better forecast accuracy is obtained at a aggregate level. You get to see a consistent or a more accurate seasonal pattern on an aggregate level. Now, what is the right level of aggregation to forecast? That totally depends on the business and is generally a trial and error exercise. So I just wanted to bring to your attention that inventory planning happens at these two levels, item and aggregate level. I hope with this explanation, it is a little bit clearer than it was before. Now let's focus our attention on item level inventory planning and its aspects. So the first question we are going to discuss about item level planning is how much to order. One is lot for lot and the other one is fixed order quantity. So what do I mean by lot for lot? Imagine you're running a restaurant and in the middle of the day you realize that okay, I'm just about to finish on the raw materials inventory, that is the vegetables and the fruits, and you quickly place an order. Let's say every time you order 2 dozen apples, and whenever they're finished you quickly order or place another order. So once you finished consuming or selling the juice for those, let's say apple juices, you would place an order for a couple of dozens of apples, and suddenly from the vendor nearby you get that order. So lot for lot ordering system is exactly that. When you're finished consuming your inventory, you put an order for the exact amount of lot. This method is generally used wherein it's really easy to get hands on the supply and is predominant in restaurant foods, or you could say even in service industries. This method is also more close to lean manufacturing methodologies, which essentially means that in the overall system, if you were to follow this, you would end up with a lot less inventory. Now let's talk more about the fixed order quantity. Now there are two ways in which even the fixed orders can be placed. One is based on experience and the other one is EOQ, that is economic order quantity. Now, what I mean by based on experience, let's say you are a shopkeeper selling grains and you sell about 100 kg of wheat every month. And from your experience, you got to know that every month the number is somewhat same, like sometimes 95, 100, 105. So the demand is pretty much stable, and you know that it is going to be somewhere around 100. So at the end of every month, you just order something like, okay, I want 100 kg of items every month. So based on my experience, I want that 100 kg of rice and I'll put an order for the same. Now, this could be true of any item with a stable demand pattern. These are mostly inelastic items or items with inelastic demand. But in certain cases, it may not work because there could be huge variation in the demand pattern itself. EOQ is economic order quantity, in which we just match the ordering cost with the carrying cost and find a point in graph wherein both the costs are at their lowest, and the economic order quantity would help us get the lowest ordering and carrying costs. So that's pretty much it. It gives you a quantity, a fixed amount to order. Now, I'm sure you must also be wondering about, hey, what about when to order, right? I mean, we just discussed quantities. However, we also talked about, ordering on a monthly basis when we talked about a fixed order quantity based on experience. But that's another aspect of item level inventory planning, and we'll discuss it further in more detail in the upcoming videos. In the next video, we're going to talk more about EOQ, its derivation, and we'd also take a sneak peek into when to order question or the dimension of the item level inventory planning. So that's it for now, and you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one.